Welcome to Financial Ginger. I am your host, Jacob Johnson, the insurance agent known for answering his phone. Today, I have the Client Files episode 2. That's what I decided to call it, the Client Files, where I take clients that I work with and share about their experience working with me, good, bad. This is, unfortunately for me, completely unscripted. So we're going to find out what we're going to talk about. Today, I've got Parker McCumber with me. Someone I look up to a lot and who I've done insurance for a long time. Say hi.
I have no idea why you would say unfortunate for you. We're going to freestyle. We're going to freestyle on the track.
Yeah.
Jacob's been doing insurance for me for a long time now.
6 years, I think.
I mean, since you got into insurance, really. Nothing but positive things to say. I actually make it a point to refer everybody to go do business with you.
It's fun. One of my favorite things that happens on the regular is you'll call me up in your office with one of your employees and be like, hey, so-and-so's got crappy insurance, or it's really expensive. I need to run numbers for them. Or, hey, they just bought a Mustang and their insurance tripled because they're only 20 years old. Do something about it. And half the time I do something about it. Half the time I give them options to go somewhere else or make recommendations.
You said at the start in your little intro there, you said, I'm the insurance agent that's known for answering his phone. So what that actually is me demonstrating that you're going to answer the phone. So I'll tell them like, hey, you having a hard time getting quotes? You're not being able to reach your insurance agents? I said, check this out. Here's my guy. I press, you're on speed dial. Press speed dial. It rings. You pick up. And then I'll just tell you what we were talking about. But all of that is just an immediate dramatic demonstration to the lead, showcasing that you're going to pick up the phone.
It's awesome. There was one time where I didn't. And then I called back like 30 seconds later and you were like, man, I just hyped up, blah, blah, blah. But you called right back. Like it's what I actually had that happen yesterday. I have a guy they're closing on a homeowners association and they're 16 units and it's a whole thing and they need homeowners. And so he called me like 3 times throughout the day. And every time I was on a call and I like texted him while he's calling me. I'm like, dude, I'm going to call you right back. Call him right back. Of course, he's on a call because he's a real estate agent. So we're playing phone tag all day, but it was kind of funny that happened in that way. But fortunately, I recently changed up my call queue to where not all calls go directly to me. So when people call me, it rings my 8 agents. So great. I'm not answering the phone.
Someone is
answering the phone.
Good.
Which is great. That way, if someone calls me right now, they're gonna pick up.
Somebody's picking up.
Someone's gonna pick up.
Well, and that's so one of the most common problems that I get in the business coaching side is people that think they have a lead problem. But the reality is they just don't have a system to capture the sale. So if the phone rings and nobody answers, you're losing the sale.
You're losing. Yeah.
So, I mean, just hearing you say something to the effect of like someone is there picking up the phone, problem solved.
Yeah. And I've actually experienced over the last couple of months a big increase in younger people reaching out to me or like parents that I work with, their kids reaching out to me. And a lot of them don't want to call me. They want to text me. So I've got a way for that too. You can text me. I have people that text me and they're like, I need a quote. And I don't even talk to them until we're binding a policy. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is so-and-so. I don't even know the sound of your voice, right? I'm like, you could be anyone, but we've done quotes. So I know, but the only thing I know is I'm closing you right now.
Not my own story, but one that impressed me from you actually. We have a mutual friend, Morgan.
Yeah.
Morgan told me that he bought a car, took a picture of the little key tag that had like the VIN and everything, sent it to you, and you just sent back the policy. And he was like, this is why I will always do business with you. And I'm like, that's exactly why I do business with him.
He's done that twice now where he's texted me a picture of a key tag and it'll be like, hey, I bought this car and I traded in this car. And then, I just texted him back. That's the way he likes to do it. And then I just tell him, hey, here's the rate change. Here's your ID card. You're good to go. Send me the lien holder, right? If you got a loan on it, he'll just text me back, MACU or security first or whatever. And I'm like, cool, done. But yeah, it's fun. I love doing that for Morgan. But it's nice because I think everyone has a different way they like to be worked with.
Yeah.
And training my team to do that. Because some people want a very long-winded 15-minute phone call explanation of what are the coverages on this new car I bought? What's just making sure they've got everything they want.
They want to be handheld.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm fine to do that. And other people are just like, hey, I already know all of my cars are done the exact same way. Here's the new one. Like, I don't need to talk to you about what the coverages are because I already know all of my cars have $1,000 deductible. They've got a glass, $0 glass. They've got roadside, or they don't have roadside. And like they know exactly what they want. We talked about it up front, and they just want to be able to, like Morgan, text me and say, hey, here's the new car. Don't worry about the coverages. Just do what we've done on everything else.
That's honestly, I think, one of the most valuable things to me in doing business with you is I need to that taken out of my mind. I like
you're busy.
The cognitive load is high constantly. And so anything that I can remove from my plate, I can give to somebody else. That's valuable. So I'm like, if I can just tell Jacob what I need and Jacob goes and does it, I'm like, I will empower that always because it makes my life easier.
Yeah. Well, I've talked about mental load. So one thing that anyone who's watched more than a couple of episodes has noticed is one of my friends actually texted me about this. It's like, Jacob, you always are wearing the same outfit when you're podcasting. And I basically have 3 shirts I wear. I wear this gray one. I've got a one that's like charcoal and red. And then I've got a yellow one. And then I'm usually either wearing these black boots or I've got a pair of Jordans, which if you look closely, one of them has a different shoelace than the other with the Jordans I wear. Like, that's it. And I simplified that decision making in my life because as a business owner and as all the things I have to do, I want one less thing I have to actually think about. And that's the clothing I'm wearing for the day. I'm like, hey, people know me. I answer the phone. I wear plaid. Like, what else do you need to know about me other than I answer the phone and I wear plaid? It's a brand, right? I'm the guy that wears plaid and answers the phone. So funny. Yeah. Or a lot of people have commented on my necklace. This is actually the first time I've worn this new one, but I'm usually wearing a green jade necklace from New Zealand, Ponamu. Right. And it's just like, hey, it's one thing I don't have to think about. It's like, I'm always wearing a green necklace. I'm always wearing plaid. And translating that over to insurance, right? Like, one of the values that I think I provided for you, like you mentioned, but I provide for a lot of really busy families and business owners, is not having to think about that stuff as much, right? Like, whether it's more upfront or wanting to talk about one specific thing, like maybe it's, hey, I got my first teenager and I really need to reconsider a lot of stuff. That's one long phone call if they want it to be, and then we reevaluate. So
for sure,
taking cognitive load off is one of the things that I value doing as an agent. It's let's figure out what you like and how you like it, and then continue to work that way. I mean, I have some people that I've trained, right? They only want to work with me, and that's totally fine. And I've trained the agents that we work with to do things in a similar way. And it's for that point. It's like, hey, it doesn't matter if you talk to Jacob or if you talk to Christy or if you talk to Tyler or you talk to Kevin, they all know the way it works. And we leave good notes in our system where people can know, hey, this is how so-and-so likes doing things.
Sure.
Yeah. Make it easier. It's a good business principle, and it's how I operate.
Oh, for sure. You said good business principle. I'm just thinking if you can do that in really any market niche, then you're solving somebody's problem and you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
Just make it easier.
Yeah, well, that's why I bring a lot. That's one of the reasons I started this podcast, was I wanted the people that work with me and trust me already to see the other professionals that I work with and trust, right? Like, I've had restoration companies on that I've worked with for 7 years, and it's like, oh, I already refer them to people when they're calling me for a claim, but what if they preemptively have them in their phone already, or they just get to see their expertise and build that much more trust?
Definitely.
And I've already had people I've had on a show get clients, right? Like, one of the realtors I had got a client. They drove up to Logan from Santaquin, like almost 2-hour drive to go show a bunch of houses to someone that listened to my podcast, was like, I trust Jacob. I really like Deveray, who's on here. Work out. And it's like, it's really cool seeing other people's business grow from what I'm doing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're building a network.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a network that you already had and that already exists. But now what you're doing is you're taking that public in a form of marketing that people just inherently build trust with, because they get to see who you are, how you think, how you solve problems, how you're working with other people. And then they say, yeah, that relates to me. That doesn't relate to me. I like this. I don't like this. But they can make a really educated decision based on what you're putting out.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that I recently started doing as an extra little thing for the guests that I've had on my show, and I'll invite you to this as well, is I made a little Facebook Financial Gingers business networking group. And it's just, hey, people that have been on my show that I trust, they're in there. And when they need something, right? Like, hey, maybe you're a plumber and you're like, hey, I need tax advice. Well, I had a tax guy on my show. Connect with someone that I already trust with. And I'm eventually going to make another one that's like kind of public facing, where it's more, hey, if you're listening to the show and you want to find someone that's been on the show, just ask and say, I haven't launched that yet, but I'll be probably doing that by the time this episode goes live. So look for it. I'll put a link in the description, Jacob's Guest Network or something like that. And you can go and find guests that have been on the show and ask for help and get those connections that you want, which will be fun. Taking a step away from all the exciting business stuff and talking a little bit more about the way we've interacted. I always like asking people about stories they've had of working with me. I've obviously shared one of the stories. I know, and it was
the best, most recent one. So I was going to share
We'll go over it. We'll go over it again. Okay. Why don't you tell it in your own words instead of my words?
So I was out of state with my wife recently. And while we were out of state, my mother was driving one of our vehicles under permissive use.
Yeah, under permissive use. She's a covered driver.
My mom was driving one of our vehicles. She was taking our kids to church. And when they were driving back from church, I'm not sure exactly how, but anyways, they're going down the thoroughfare and somebody's turning onto the street and they hit them. Had to replace the front quarter panel and the front bumper and all the sensors. It was a newer SUV. And so my mom calls me and she's like, hey, got in an accident. Don't worry, everybody's fine. But what do I do? And I'm like, well, I'm not around to help. But I said, you know who picks up his phone? Jacob. So I just texted my mom Jacob's number. I said, hey, this is Jacob. You've met him. You know his, like, I think you do their insurance now too.
I do your parents' insurance.
So it's like, hey, just call him.
He's your agent too.
Jacob will take care of you. And so my mom called. You point her in all the directions, tell her the steps she needs to take, get the photos, file the police report, all those kind of things. Which, again, thing that I love, you took the load off of me. I didn't have to, as the maybe policy holder, immediately start jumping through those hoops. And like when I'm out of state and I'm not around and I'm busy. So you coached my mom through that process. And then the next day, you called my mom or texted her in the morning and she's like, Jacob reached out to me about this and this was on your policy, but like he cared enough to. So that was a really, really cool one. And obviously you're in touch with me the whole time too.
Yeah.
So the communication was very thorough and that's an impressive piece. A couple weeks later, we were struggling to get a determination of liability. And the reality was it was very obviously the other guy's fault, but the other guy wouldn't answer the phone or talk to the insurance adjusters or anything like that. I won't get into the politics of it all.
Yeah, it's so annoying. There's some things that you just have to wait for claims to deal with.
But it took over 2 weeks to get liability determined then. And I remember I called you one afternoon and I was like frustrated. I'm like, dude, we can't get the work done. The auto body shop is telling me they're going to start billing me for storage because the insurance won't approve the work. And we had took it to a pre-authorized service provider. So I'm like, why won't they just approve the work? So frustrating. You had a call then with one of the other guy's agent or the adjuster. I don't know.
I called the adjuster up. Yeah.
And I don't know how that all transpired, but as soon as you got off the call, you texted me and then she called me and she had determined liability was them.
Which was amazing. Yeah. I talked to the adjuster and they were like, oh, wait, maybe we can just wait. Oh, we can do it. Okay. Wait, let me call him. I'm like, what? You've been sitting on this but that's okay. Right. I'm sometimes there. And one of my things is tell people to hurry up. And sometimes I can't, but it worked out really well in this situation.
Well, so the thing that's impressive for me is one, every step of the process, you were very present in and very communicative, and not just with myself, but with the rest of my family that was involved. So one, you take it off my plate. That's huge. Two, when we needed the hand holding, you handheld. And third, when we needed a push, you were the advocate that was pushing for us. So every step of the process was improved because we were doing business with you.
Thank you. That's a great way to say that. Sometimes I get really aggravated because I want things to go even better.
Yeah.
And there's some things I can't control, right? But yes, I'm willing to harass the adjusters to figure out what's going on. I'm willing to tell you what I can do and tell you what you have to do.
Yeah.
Right. Because there was a couple of things where I'm like, hey, Parker, you're going to have to do this. You have to do this. But then you know what you need to do and you don't have to worry about, oh, what do I need to do?
Yes.
Because I've had that in life where even outside of business where it's like, oh, man, I had this project. What do I even need to do? So sometimes it's helpful just to be like, hey, here's the 2 things you have to do. And then you have to wait for 2 days and then let me know if you've heard back. And if not, let me know and I'm going to harass people again. So yeah, that was a frustrating situation, but I'm glad it's all been taken care of.
So that was the most recent example. Well, I mean, I'll just share some others.
Yeah,
if you're
absolutely.
cool
Go for it.
So like we said, we've been doing business together since you got into insurance. And obviously then you've seen a lot of what I've been doing or where I've been operating and how I operate. So we've used you for home, rentals, cars, lots of cars.
Lots of cars. Exotic cars.
Yeah, we have a business that buys, sells, trades exotic cars. So in that, one, you're always very communicative about what you can and can't do, like you said. So when I text you because we're buying a property or I text you because we bought a vehicle, you're all over that. Something that impressed me personally was when you can't help me for whatever reason, you have a network and a recommendation already lined up. And you were just talking about how you're building your network.
Yeah.
Even if it's a different insurance agent, right? So we bought a business a few months ago. You weren't able to quickly take care of that. So you referred me to a guy. And I mean, great referral. He came in more affordable than what you had thought was going to be possible.
Yeah.
So the network was provided value too. And that was something that I think a lot of people would get impressed with, generally speaking, because you as an insurance agent are actually taking away from some of your business to help the customer.
Yeah. I do that all the time.
I mean, it pays back in the sense that I'm just going to keep doing business with you and referring you because I'm having constantly good experiences.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done that. Like, I had an uncle that I did insurance for years and years. And then one of his properties got reclassified as a high wildfire risk. And none of my carriers would take it. Just the type of risk it was, plus the value of the home, plus it had a wood roof, which is even more. So there was like so many complicating factors. And I was like, hey, here's another agent I know that I think can do it. And then here's 2 other insurance carriers that I don't work with because they're captive. So people that work for those agencies only work for that one insurance company. So I couldn't even work with them if I wanted to. Call this agent, call these 2 insurance carriers, get quotes from them. And right. And I told him, I'm like, because of this, because sometimes with rentals, they want you to do your auto and home with them to even be eligible for a rental property. Some carriers work that way. And he called me back and he had to switch away all of his business. I lost everything for him. But he was like so sad about that. It's like, oh, well, I'm like, that's okay. This is what's best for you. It's what you need right now. And now he's winding down. He's selling his rental properties. He's retiring. He's like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And
He's
3 or 4 times. Yeah. Well, and 3 or 4 times since then, he's called me and been like, hey, my youngest daughter just got her license and the quote I got was really expensive. What can we do? And we tried to find something out.
Yeah.
And at the end, I told him, actually, it is best the way that your agent recommended it. Come back to me at this point. Right. And so we touched base several times and that's okay. Right. Because my uncle sent people my way and he trusts me. And in the end, it's like, if you don't do good, what's the point of even doing business?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you don't do good, what's the point of even doing business? Like, if not, you just don't feel good about yourself. Right. And I don't know. If I can't sleep at night, it's not worth it.
I'm gonna tweet that as soon as this is over.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then the other situation that even happened to you, one of your vehicles that you purchased, I couldn't insure. The type of exotic vehicle was just one I couldn't even do.
Yeah. So and that was the Lamborghini Urus.
Yes. The Lamborghini Urus.
We got an Urus S. And even though you could write for all those different policies, like I remember we were trying to go back and forth with Haggerty and American Modern, and
Yeah. Just Safeco, Liberty Mutual. And there was a bunch of them.
No one would touch it.
And a bunch of them just didn't like, people just don't like Lamborghini Urus right now. And I don't know why. I'm sure it'll change over the next year or two, but right. Like, okay, fine. Who cares? I couldn't do it. So I sent you to my friend Cambria, who's another agent that I knew could do it. And she got a good price. And I did end up getting a price like a week later from one of those companies. They're like, okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But it was more
Modern
expensive.
Came in really late. And it was 4 times more expensive.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So Cambria was a great referral too.
Yeah, she's great.
Shout out to Cambria.
Yeah, I send people to her all the time. And it's great is I have other insurance agents that send people to me all the time. And why? Because they can trust me. If they send me someone and it's like, hey, they bought a school bus and I can't insure it, or they have a DUI and my insurance company, I can't do it, or whatever it is, they're being non-renewed. They've had 2 at-fault accidents or whatever it is. They know that I'm just going to take what they've asked me to do, right? I mean, if the client asks me and they're like, hey, I want to do other things, or they recommend it. But if Cambria is saying, hey, Jacob, this person needs auto insurance, she can trust me that I'm not going to try to sell that person home and boat and all those other things unless the client asks me for it. But right, it's like they already trust Cambria or their agent, whoever their current agent is. I'm a third party that is their agent is saying, trust this guy for this one thing. And I want insurance agents to be able to trust me too, that I'm not going to ruin the trust with their client or try to undermine them and be like, oh, wow, your agent didn't do this. They're stupid or whatever. No, you're a professional. Your clients trust you and you need me to do one specific thing for your client. I'm all over that. I'm fine to do it. And I've done that for dozens of agents I've worked with. Yeah.
I'm going to hijack this for a second.
Go for it. Take it wherever you want.
This is a tip, a strategy, a mindset that I'm a big believer in. And it maybe goes against the conventional wisdom of business operations, right? It used to be that if you got somebody in your door like that, you are going to maximize on that person and you are going to try to undercut everything that they have everywhere else. And you're going to sell them on the bundle and you're going to maximize your profit. It's maybe a good strategy for one person, but it's very short-sighted, right? I'm a big believer now in the concept of building in public and building the trust and building the network and network marketing. And you won't be successful in any of those endeavors if you're a jerk like that, right? You don't have to be against every other insurance agent to win in insurance. And I think that in a lot of business or entrepreneurial type endeavors, people lose sight of that. They think everything is a competition, but your success is not predetermined by someone else's success or lack of it, right? You winning doesn't mean they can't win, or them winning doesn't mean you can't win. So just be a good person. And I think that goes hand in hand with what you said about if you're not doing good, why are you in business?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Absolutely.
Hijack.
No, I agree. Absolutely. And that's how I feel about it, because any agent winning, like you said, doesn't mean I'm losing. Right. And I would rather have that agent send me those referrals 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, right? That long-term success. And it goes both ways. I've had weird situations where I'm like, oh, I can't do this. Hey, here's 3 other licensed agents that are great that I like that you can work with. And I'm actually planning to have a couple of them on the show. I'm working out some details about how to do it. But I'm like, I'm going to show, hey, we're 2 agents that are completely on different sides of the fence about how we do it or what we do or what company. But
different agencies.
We both have perspectives that can be valuable for people. And why not both of us win? I don't care. They'll get clients from the listeners listening to my show. And that's a win for me and a win for them.
True that. I like, think about the thing with Cambria, right? So you referred me to Cambria for my Lamborghini Urus. How many referrals has she sent you, though, since then?
A bunch.
And all of the things that you're referring to each other are things that you can't profit off of anyways. So you've essentially just created a miniature economy for you two, where you're supporting each other.
Yep. Yeah. She sent me a lot of people that it's like, hey, they got a DUI, they're being non-renewed for too many claims. And what's nice about that environment, that's fine, right? She is, and sometimes it's not. Like, I'm not saying just because you had 2 claims, you're going to be non-renewed with State Farm or whatever. Yeah. That's absolutely not true. It's just those specific clients, whatever the circumstances were. And she knows that she can trust me with those people, and that's totally great. And likewise, I've had some situations, right, whether it's a high wildfire risk or a certain type of vehicle that I can't insure, and it's really good. I really like the back and forth and being able to trust each other And it's great. It's great. Yeah. Everyone can win. I specifically like the phrase that a lot of people use is, wow, I'm struggling here. The scarcity mindset, right? It's that scarcity mindset is embodied in the, oh no, if someone else wins, I'm losing. Yeah. Oh no, there's not enough to make this happen. And it's like, no, have a bigger mindset than that. Everyone can win and you can make more pie.
I use that analogy all the time, right? It's the Thanksgiving Day. You don't have enough pie. Does somebody go without, or do you bake another pie? Just bake another pie.
Bake 6 more pies. Eat good.
Yeah, the scarcity mindset thing, that dominates a lot of people in their business, in their relationships. And the reality is, if you can overcome that and think about how life is not a zero-sum game and wealth can be created or success can be created beyond a fixed pie, you'll win, right? The pessimist might sound smart, but it's the optimist that's getting paid.
Ooh. Oh, I like that. Because it's true. Because it's a safety related mindset to feel like, to be pessimistic about it. It's like, oh, I can't do this because, or I'm not willing to do that because what if it causes pain, or what if I lose, or whatnot. And it's kind of a trope right now, especially on social media among like small businesses, to do the whole, I'm going to try this for a year. And if I fail, worst case, I'm going to go get a job like you.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like my worst case scenario is your reality or whatever. Right. And I'm not trying to say that mindset is appropriate. It's not, I don't think it's good to talk down other people or say having a job is a terrible thing.
Well, and it's to some extent, that's a little bit of a straw man, right?
Yeah,
it's a little
absolutely.
bit oversimplistic.
But that general concept is true. It's like, why not take big risks? Like I had Savannah Romney on my podcast early on, and she has her own show called Uncharted. Go listen to it. It's great. But she's always talking about that mindset, right? I mean, she's 20 years old. She's a real estate agent, and she's always talking about that bigger mindset, go hard, win big, go for the crazy goals, wake up with to a life that you want to live. And it's going to make you excited to get up and go and do. And I think that's just a healthy mindset to have of get up, go do, win, fight. Like,
it's funny you say that, actually. I saw just this morning, I'm a human, not perfect. I get up, I'm a little bit lazy getting out of bed. I open my phone, I look at some social media before I get out of bed. I mean, maybe it's the blue light waking me up.
Yeah, there you go. See it as a positive.
I saw a girl who actually kind of looked like Savannah.
Oh, really?
It's just why I thought of it. But she had posted a reel. She's like, I'm 19 years old. I'm in Thailand right now on vacation, exploring the world. And she's like, the thing about life that no one understands is that it's a video game. And if you're not where you want to be, spawn your character somewhere you want to be. And if you're not doing what you want to be doing, it's a video game. You can just go do whatever you want to be doing. And people get that again, it's that scarcity or that limit that forces them to tighten in on all the security functions, right? The W-2 and everything else. But I'm having this thought, and I realized when I started to escape those limitations in my own mindset, I was able to play life like the video game. And now like almost every day, I'm playing life like it's a video game. There's always a level. There's always a goal. There's always something to achieve. And if I don't like the trajectory that I'm on, I'll go do a different side quest. That's all this is. It's all side quests.
Yeah.
So anyways.
No, I love it.
Thought.
If you're hitting your head against the wall and you can't get something done, go to the gym. Go spend some time with your wife.
Yeah.
Go on a drive. Throttle therapy club. Go on a drive.
Yeah. I mean, so think about it. If you're ever like actually stuck and limited in one area of your life, you're probably not actually stuck. You probably just don't know how to move through or over around that obstacle yet. Maybe you haven't leveled up to the point you need to be to do that. So go do a side quest and level up. Go for the drive.
Go get an insurance quote from Jacob and then go back to what you're doing.
Go get the insurance quote from Jacob so you can go on the drive.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's great. I like that. I really like that. Positive mindset. I don't know if you're listening and you have a tool you use for helping with your mindset, being more positive or getting out of a pessimistic attitude leave it in the comments below. Share it with Parker, me, and say, here's how I deal with my internal pessimism, because we're all pessimistic creatures inside, like to some degree. And that's a coping mechanism, a survival skill. And sometimes you have to override that. But yeah, tell us how you get out of it, how you snap out of it. Sometimes I just have to go to bed for the day and then wake up the next day and go hit it hard.
I murdered the pessimistic creature inside.
I
murdered it. Doesn't exist in me anymore. I recognized that it was preventing me from being who I wanted to be. And so it just killed it. Doesn't exist. It's gone.
Dang.
So my recommendation for people, if you're trying to overcome maybe a little bit of that negativity, that pessimism, that maybe acute depression or anything like that, my secret is to build something of value and take pride in the achievement. And I when I think back, my lowest times in life, I was probably an alcoholic. I was in the military and I was not necessarily playing to my full potential. Like the game was very small for me then. I had one area of focus. I was so good at it that I could disrespect the job and still be the best in my field. But that's not rewarding or fulfilling. So I wasn't building anything of value, and I wasn't achieving anything that I could take pride in. And when I separated from that, there's some other factors here, like I'm thinking about relationships too. But when I separated from that, I start building the relationship with Emmeline, my wife. And that was something that provided value to both of us and was an achievement I could be proud in. Depression gone. I started building my online business. And it was slow, but it started creating value. And then that was something that I could be proud of. And the depression never came back. And so it was like, it was thing after thing, but I was always building something of value. And I was taking pride and being, I guess, happy and content with the achievements that I was completing. So when I look back on my life, I can see as long as I've been building with value or building value and I've been achieving something, I'm happy.
Are you familiar with Jordan Peterson?
Very.
So one of the things that he said a long time ago, this is back in like his biblical series, like before any of the political stuff. And he was talking about, hand in hand. I mean, they do, but it was before it was the stuff he recorded before he kind of was put into a political life, right? Before HB 54, whatever it was in Canada, and the beginning of that more obvious political, right? That sort of stuff. But he was talking about how man is an aiming creature. We always aim for something. And he was talking about this in the sense of worshiping. It's like we're looking to the higher ideal. And then he even brought it further. He's like, this is, even though he's like, even though I'm going to use religious language, this is not religious, right? He's like, men, the way our minds and brains work, psychologically speaking, we are built to aim, which is why in the scriptures, they oftentimes will use the phrase missing the mark when you've sinned. And he's like, the original meaning of sin wasn't like doing evil, right? It was missing the mark. It was not hitting your ideal. So if your ideal is exercising in the morning, and like I didn't wake up and exercise this morning like I was supposed to, so I'm gonna have to go tonight. I sinned in the sense that I missed the mark. That's what sinning means in the original context of the word. And obviously now it has all these. So as aiming creatures, we are aiming for an ideal, whether that's God or we're aiming right to succeed in work. And then he goes a step further and says, not only are we designed to aim, part of that affects how we feel positive or negative emotion. Understanding that by nature, we are designed to aim is that most of the positive emotions that we feel are related to that action of aiming, right? Like you've been talking about, striving to build, striving for success, striving to build a meaningful relationship with your spouse, having children, or striving in that familial sense, whether it's working with your siblings or your parents or whatever, like having those relationships and building them, building a business or succeeding in your job, like whatever it is, playing the bigger game. All of that is what feeds. And then he steps even one step further and says, now, how do we quantify that? Setting goals, right? Like working on and achieving goals is a direct reflection of our psychological self that you'll see as you aim and as you make progress, you feel positive emotion, which directly correlates to what you're saying. Like it combats that negative, depressive type symptoms is that. So I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. I thought it was really profound. I think about that constantly, even though I watched that for the first time 5 years ago while I was driving back and forth to Logan to visit my girlfriend, who's now my wife, Kimberly. Commuting all the way back and forth, I was listening to those biblical series, and I'm just like, so it's been so profound in my mind, this aiming concept. I think about it all the time when I'm trying to deal with depression and those.
I'm going to go try to find that because it resonates a lot with me. And I think about it in that maybe more historic sense of the term sin. If you miss your mark, I absolutely think that you've sinned.
And you need to repent. Repenting is literally taking another shot at your aim.
And think about what this means in all contexts. And that's what's, I guess, that I'm really loving right now. Yeah, so I got up this morning, should have got up and gone to the gym, scrolled social media instead. Absolutely a sin. Absolutely. And I have to repent. So I have to go home and I have to go lift. Because I've done something now that is not helping me be the version of myself that God intends me to be. It's
not in alignment.
Correct. So, I mean, think about that. If you believe in a higher power, I know both of us do. I genuinely believe that all of us are created with essentially unlimited potential. And if you follow maybe the mainstream LDS, approach, it's like we were created in God's image with the potential to become gods and goddesses ourselves. But you have to attain that at some point, right? And how do you attain that? You attain that by constantly striving to be worthy, right? Fulfilling your promises, things like that. So I think about this in my life, and I think it extends into far more areas than spirituality alone, right? This is going to sound really bad. Maybe I shouldn't say it on a podcast.
I don't know. Go for it. We're trekking in places we haven't trekked before.
So think about this. We are definitely going. This was unscripted.
I told you, unfortunately.
Can you be a god or live to your fullest potential? Can you be the person that God intended or designed you to be if you're morbidly obese? Or if you have an addiction to alcohol? Or if you're constantly gambling? Probably not. Like, those things are inherently detracting from you being the kind of person that you would want to be to live at the highest level, succeed, achieve, build the value, aim, and achieve. In that sense, all sins.
Mm-hmm. And not in the traditional way we think about it nowadays, modern Christianity, of sin meanings sin. The best way for me to think about it, both in spiritual and non-spiritual senses, is missing that mark, missing the mark that even non-religiously you can define as your highest ideal. If you are not aligning with your highest ideal, all repentance is turning away from whatever action you're doing that isn't in harmony, in alignment with that. And that might look like, hey, changing, and nothing has changed in a day, right? If you're not in a good place, whether it's financially or physically or emotionally, none of that's fixed in a day. None of that's fixed immediately, right? That's one of the interesting things I have found in my, and right, this is religious, right? In my belief in Jesus Christ is his grace, his atonement, that sacrifice allows us to overcome eventually.
Yeah.
It's not always immediate, right? Like not all prayers are answered immediately.
The prayer, you can get answers to prayers, but I'm saying the growth is never going to be immediate.
Yeah.
You have to go through the process of development. And the
sometimes
process of development is a struggle.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not even an end goal, right? Sometimes this ideal isn't a mark you hit once and you've hit it, right? Like it's one way to conceptualize that.
Yeah.
But it's a continual process for a lot of things. Like being healthy, it isn't an action you attain and then you're done with.
I was going to say, think about that in the lens of, year over year changes and developments, right?
Yeah.
Like in 2018, I'm a power lifter at UVU, right? I mean, you knew me back then.
Yep. You took
really strong. I was fit. I was like, okay. In my mind, I hit the mark. I hit what I was aiming for, and I was achieving. And I was really proud of that. In, I don't know, when was it? 2022. I herniated a couple discs in my lower back, was kicked up in bed for a couple months. I kept eating like I was a power lifter, but I wasn't doing anything of exercise. And I ballooned up to 240 pounds. And I couldn't run anymore. And I was really weak and I was pretty flabby. I wasn't hitting the mark anymore. So I was previously, I wasn't anymore. But then I had to make another change because it's a continuous process. There's always going to be an obstacle or a struggle that you have to work through and overcome. And I think that that's actually really important when you put things in the perspective of building value and achieving. If you're not overcoming an obstacle, you're not achieving shiz.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Because we're trying to achieve, right? Like obviously toning it back a little bit from the theoretical, right? The point of this podcast, just an example, right? I mean, obviously my goal is to help 3,000 families feel secure, safe, and like their agent's going to answer the phone and they can ask a question when they need it. Like that's the goal, the ultimate aim of this podcast. Okay, that doesn't mean this podcast is going to end once I've got 3,000 clients. That doesn't mean I haven't succeeded if I haven't hit some arbitrary number of growth or whatnot. Like I don't even know what I'm trying to say, right? Like there's things we aim for, but there's also sometimes a secondary goal. Like the reason why we set some goals is because of another goal. I might talk about this sometimes. So sometimes we set we have 15 things we're trying to do, but really we're trying to do one thing and it's aimed for that ideal. Sometimes we set goals that are like around that ideal. If you set your goals in the stars and kind of throw, you're going to hit something that's good. So yeah, right. The point of the podcast is to help other people, obviously to bring value to myself. Like, I don't know. I like this concept of elevating everyone. And it sometimes feels so mysterious on how to do it. But I think it starts with just one person, right? It starts with meeting with one person or talking to one person or making the next phone call, whether it's a cold call and you're trying to sell someone something, or you're calling one of your customers that sent you an email saying they need help with something and you're calling, like whatever the next thing is. I like focusing on the one. Right. And that obviously has some religious implications too, right? Like Jesus Christ leaving the 99 to help the one. But you can make anything you're doing feel more significant by making it about who's the next person I'm going to do good for. Yeah. Right. In whatever sense it is, like someone calls me and they're complaining about how a claim's going, or they just got in a car accident or something. It's like, okay, that can be a monotonous, here's a checklist of things I need to do for that person. Or I can change it into how can I make this person's day better, right? How can I help and, the religious word minister to this one? And it doesn't have to be in that strict Christian sense that we sometimes think of it as of, I need to be inviting this person to follow Jesus Christ or to get baptized or to read their scriptures or to go to church or to overcome their addictions. Like that can be big, but maybe it's just helping them have a little bit better experience when they're filing a home insurance claim.
So I actually think that that's a really important distinction that you just made. It's not necessarily the verbal and vocal invitation to go to church, read the scriptures, say more prayers, whatever. I think what it really boils down to is you do what you can do, what's within your power to do to help others.
Yeah, that easy.
It's that easy. But keep in mind, that's different for everybody, right? For you, it's helping them with their insurance and having a positive experience with that and making sure that they're safe and taken care of and heard, right? For somebody else who's like in a window cleaning business, totally different for them. You do what's within your wheelhouse and what's within your power.
Yeah. And just to take that same example, right? Like maybe you're changing your mindset as a window cleaner, or maybe you're the salesman, or maybe you're doing both, right? If you're selling to a business, you're not just like, maybe you're changing it from, I'm just trying to, get so many windows cleaned per day because that's going to make me my income so I can survive, or I can go to college next semester, or I can remember my family, whatever that is. You can elevate your job of, I'm helping make my community more beautiful. Mm-hmm. Like that's such a more empowering way to think about the work you're doing. And I've actually talked about this with my employees, with the other agents in my office. I'm like, look, you can come to your job and say, I'm here for a paycheck and to check off my to-do list. Or it's like, I'm here to help people have a positive experience with their insurance. I help people make people sure that they feel safe or they feel understood. And that's so much more empowering to your mind.
Yes.
And to your entire life. Because now I'm doing good for people, right? I'm beautifying my community. I'm helping people. Maybe you're a barber and you're like, I help people look good and feel good, right? Or maybe you're a real estate agent. It's like, I help renters become landlords, right? That's one of my friends, Devaray's catchphrase that she uses. I'm like, that's such a noble purpose. It's not just, I sell homes, right? I buy homes. Anything that you do as a job, you can make into pessimism or optimism. And part of the reason I'm bringing this up is choosing to look in an optimistic way will help you to do more of that thing. Mm-hmm. And weirdly enough, will make you money, right? Like if your mindset is, I'm beautifying my community, that's going to change the way you talk. That's going to change the way you sell. That's going to change the way you actually do the job when it's done. You're going to clean better. You're going to sell your insurance better. You're going to, whatever it is you're doing, you can make it positive. So I would love to invite, if you're listening, leave a comment with a positive and just positive way. How can you elevate the description of what you do for your work? Leave that in the comments. I'd love to read some of those.
Where did you come up with the thought of noble purpose?
So when I've talked about this a little bit before, when I graduated college and I didn't find a job, and everyone that I was working with was getting jobs and good ones. And I had people that were like, getting $100,000 a year jobs right out of college, or, $80,000 a year jobs with benefits and all that. And this is back in 2018.
Nerds.
Yeah. or some of them now actually have started business and they've been on the podcast, like Sam Jones. And I graduated, I had the CFP exam. I had the Jerry Mason Extra Mile Award from UVU and all these other, accolades. And I got one job offer for like $38,000 a year to move to Montana. And I'm like, I don't want to move to Montana for essentially $20 an hour with a college degree and a certified financial planner designation and all these licensing. And I got really depressed. And at one point, I was considering suicide. It was really bad negativity. And then I ended up getting a job in insurance. I had the mindset of, I'm just answering phones until I get a big boy job, a real job, right? And then my boss came to me and he's like, dude, you're good at this. Like, you're good with people. You care about people on the phone. And I'm like, I didn't even think I cared about people. I was just answering the phone and doing my job and going home, trying to find another job. And so he talked to me and kind of elevated my mind to my potential and that I was doing good. And it was kind of interesting. Shortly after that, I read the book Dune for the first time.
Okay.
Which obviously it's sci-fi. I love sci-fi. Like I can recommend 3 books to anyone that loves sci-fi. Angel Mass. I always say Icarus Hunt, but it's probably pronounced Icarus Hunt. Super, super good book. And Dune. Not anything after I started reading other books and oh my gosh, they're terrible. Well, not terrible. They're just Totally different. It's like reading Ender's Game and then jumping to Speaker for the Dead. Bad idea. Totally different subject matters, even though it's the same universe. Anyways, so I read Dune. Can you guys see the ADHD coming out? I read Dune, and this phrase comes up in the book constantly when they're talking about the main character, and it's he's burdened with glorious purpose. He's burdened with glorious purpose. Mm-hmm. I mean, spoiler. No, I'm not going to spoil. I don't want to spoil too much because you guys should read the book. I mean, obviously everyone's watched the movies that have come out, but there's more that happens after the 2 movies that have come out. And it's just really cool to see that he's like burdened with glorious purpose. And it's like this drive to do the next thing. And I don't know. So I kind of incorporated that into my worldview. And then as I changed more and more, because it took me years to like really figure out what that meant and how I was implementing my work and judging myself for being like, no, you're just an insurance agent. It's like, no, I'm helping people feel safe and secure, and changing that mindset sometimes take years to do. So I got to the point where I accepted that more fully, and it changed how much insurance I was selling. Right. Because obviously I was being paid to work in that business and to manage those clients and to sell the people that were calling into their agency and all that. And my boss said, hey, you know, if you want, you can bring in your own clientele, like have your own little name, which is Jacob Johnson Insurance. And you'll be compensated for those clients. And I'm like, oh. And so as I adopted that, I was actually looking back at the numbers just last week as I was setting some goals for 2026.
Hell yeah.
And I saw that the jump between 2022 and 2023, like the first like 3 years of me doing it, where my boss mentioned, hey, you know, you can sell some on the side. And I was just posting things on Facebook. I didn't do anything different that first 2 years afterwards. It was just that change in mindset. And my book in the first 3 years, I wrote as much in those first 3 years in 1 year, right? Like it doubled that 1 year in terms of the commissions I was making for my own book of business. And I was like, whoa. And I was like, well, what's the difference? I was like, I'm being positive. I'm telling myself positive things about the work I do. And that's why when I said earlier, changing the way you think about your job is going to change the way you serve, the way you interact, and you're going to sell more. And as I said many times before that, there is nothing ungodly or unchristlike about being paid to do good work. There's nothing wrong with that. Like,
I'd argue that it's actually necessary to be Christ-like.
Yes, it is not. Yeah, and it doesn't misalign with my goal, my aim, my highest ideal as a Christian, right? That Christ-like way. And you don't have to have that highest ideal, right? This works secularly as well. But I realized that being paid well is not against my beliefs.
Yeah.
And accepting that and then realizing you can incorporate your religious beliefs into the way you're doing business. And there's nothing sacrilegious about that. Like I know some people, it's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, because if I make more money, guess what? I'm giving more to charity. I'm helping more people. I'm going to hire people. I'm going to make money and elevate people and help them make money. And it's like, that's amazing. Empowering people and empowering. So that's kind of where that mindset came from.
Your world needs you to get rich because it's the money that you have that enables you to do charity and to improve the lives of the people around you. I think it's 100% necessary for good people to strive to earn and be compensated monetarily so that they can do good in the world. Lack of resources doesn't help anyone. Mm-mm. Having resources at least puts you in the position to help others.
Yeah. More pie.
Science.
More pie.
Yeah. More pie theory. I also use the concept of noble purpose, which is why I was curious where you came up with it. Cause I didn't know, I'm like, maybe it was something that I was exposed to and maybe we both heard it or cause I didn't know
Depression and Dune
where it came from for me. It might've been something that I got from like Russell Brunson or something. And I just don't remember. But I even put it I go so far as to add it to like my email marketing.
Oh,
where I'll say like our noble purpose is to help 1,000 people express their First Amendment rights with this new flag. Like, so I would take noble purpose And I would just message like, this is the mission that we're on right now. And we're not stopping until it's done.
Yeah. And that's great too, because that noble purpose that you carry, that glorious burden, you'll see that change the mindsets of people around you, right? I've even seen that with the people I work with, right? Where it's like, hey, me having an elevated mindset helps elevate their mindset, and it makes your days at work go better. It makes your compensation always get better. It makes people like you more.
Have you ever heard the theory of the biblical theory of something begets something?
No. Enlighten me.
Man begets man, i.e., humans can only make more humans. Easy enough to understand, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
The theory continues, good begets good, i.e., if you're doing good things, you're not creating more evil in the world. You can only necessarily create more good in the world. However, evil begets evil, right? Positivity begets more positivity. If you are being a positive individual in the workplace, you necessarily are uplifting the people around you, and that creates more positivity in the workplace.
I love it.
Something cannot beget nothing. Nothing cannot beget something. That's the theory in short.
I like it. Okay. I feel like we're kind of wrapping up on time. I know. I always, it's weird because
I love that this became a sermon.
Yeah. You didn't know you were going to church today, but you just came to church.
Wrestles with God. Shout out to Jordan Peterson.
I love that. Oh, I love that story of Joshua because, right, they don't have a way to describe it very well when he wrestles with an angel. Like they describe that his like thigh gets ripped or something like that. Like he basically tears a femur because he's wrestling with this angel of the Lord so long, like being like, you're going to give me what I want, and I want the blessings of Moses. It's like, right. Like, and so he describes it in that way. Anyways, I love that. I love that thought process so much because you can wrestle. Like we're commanded in scripture to pray over our flocks that they will increase. Like when's the last time you knelt down and by your bedside with your wife and prayed together that your businesses would do better? Like that's an enticing thing. If you're religious and you have a business or a job, which I suppose most people do, like I invite you to do that. Like take some time. If you're married, pray with your spouse and pray about growing your flock, like you will be shocked. At least I have been shocked by the emotions I feel when I pray in that way. Cause it seems so, I know it's weird because I feel genuinely about it. Yeah, it's not like, it's so weird that re-emphasis that it's like, it's okay to do good and to get good because it's going to beget good.
Yeah. Okay. I got a couple thoughts that have popped up here.
Go for it.
The parable of the talents. Same concept.
Yep.
Right. I actually think if you're not trying to grow your business, if you're not trying to build your community, that's a sin.
Missing the mark.
You're missing the mark. You should be praying to grow your flock. God gave you the aptitude, the business, the whatever you have, right? You have those blessings, identify them and grow them. Second thought.
You'll feel more grateful when you do that too. You're going to feel so much gratitude because the Lord's going to show you your blessings and you're going to find ways to do good with them.
Okay, now I have another thought.
So grateful.
Gratitude was my lesson in 2025. I've had it in my mind for the last few years. I've been very bad at practicing it until this year. This year somehow, it just clicked finally clicked. But it's to always lead with gratitude. I start every interaction. I try to start every engagement with some form of gratitude. And in expressing gratitude, my mindset, like I already had a very positive mindset. I already had a very forward thinking structure in my head, but expressing gratitude amplified all of that for me. And it opened more doors with relationships and it built me a stronger network and it got me into higher circles. I think that for somebody who's struggling right now to overcome an obstacle, to figure out how to get going, lead with gratitude. Start there. Other thought was the manifestation. We talked about, we haven't used that term explicitly.
But we've talked about it.
But we're talking about it. And I think a lot of this is a lot more real than people will give it credit for. And maybe it goes back to the video game theory. Maybe it's your way of saying a prayer to grow your flock. But having that forward-thinking, optimistic mindset of I will succeed, I will grow, I will accomplish, achieve, it makes you subconsciously be the person that's going to achieve those things. Like when you talk about you install your noble purpose and you write more policy in a year than you did in the 3 previous years combined. So you're making more money immediately out the gate. And you're like, nothing changed except for my mindset. What really happened was you're manifesting you becoming the person that does that.
And your subconscious works on solving those problems.
Correct.
When it's what you aim towards.
Yes. So I actually think that's the secret with manifestation is like, if you are constant, if this is in your mind, and it's actually a concept taught in like Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, that kind of stuff. I know you're familiar.
I love Napoleon.
Yeah. But he talks about having the definitive purpose. And the definitive purpose, it's like your noble purpose, your noble mission. It's something that's always at the forefront of your mind that you're striving to achieve. You know, you write it down. I have it as my phone screensaver. I write it on my mirror in the bathroom. I look at that every single day and know that that's what I'm working towards. And subconsciously, I necessarily have to become a certain type of person that can achieve that. And I'm not that person now, but I'm always becoming more of that person because it's at the forefront of my mind.
You're aiming.
Yes, I'm aiming.
You're repenting.
And I'm repenting to achieve it. That's the secret with the manifestation.
Yep. I love it. It's absolutely true. Wow.
Doing this podcast is a byproduct of the manifestation of Jacob Johnson, the insurance agent who helps 3,000 families feel secure in their insurance, that they're taken care of and their needs are met. So if you don't already, call up Jacob. Jacob insures Utah, and he'll hook you up, man.
I'm the guy.
10 out of 10 recommend.
10 out of 10. No, it's amazing. Thank you so much. I've really appreciated how much trust and confidence you've had in me over the years. That has elevated me and made me see myself as worth more. So, and that happens with so many of the people I work with where I'm like, wow, like the trust you're putting in me, just, it makes me feel so good about myself. It makes me feel like I'm doing good, and it empowers me, and it makes me even that much more want to live up to my ideal. So thank you for being part of that and helping me see that in myself more. And to everyone that I've had on and the people that trust me with insurance, it's so awesome to me to feel like people are trusting me with their lives. They're trusting me with their children, their wives. They're trusting me with their homes. They're trusting me with all these things. And it's just like, it's so wonderful to me to be able to take that on, to do good and help you feel good. So thank you so much, Parker. I appreciate your time and being on. You're great.
I'm prolonging this now.
Go for it.
Just because of what you said. I think a big failing that a lot of people have is they get in their own heads about that stuff. Other people can maybe sometimes see your worth more than you can see it yourself, just depending on where you are, the mindset you're in, the space that you're operating within, right? I don't think it's ever a bad thing to emphasize helping others and building your network to get out of that space. And then you start to see your own worth because other people are necessarily showing you what you're capable of for you to be able to do that. Just personal anecdote here. We went to school together. I think we met in 2016 or 2017.
2016, I think.
Yeah. Going to Utah Valley University. And I actually, we met in professional presentations.
Yep.
Mark Harrison.
I still have that book.
I do too.
The Exceptional Presenter.
I've actually said this many times. That class is the single most defining class in my success in life.
Really?
Really. And on day one of that class, there's only one person who got up and made an impression on me, and it's Jacob Johnson. Because he's got this, this, I don't know what to say, man, the charisma or something. You get up in front of the class, and I can't remember what you said exactly, but I think you just got up and dropped the F-bomb for attention.
That sounds like me in 2016.
And everyone, it was like, get up and introduce yourself in 30 seconds or something like that, and try to do it confidently, and we're going to critique your presentation or something.
Oh, something like that. Yeah.
And so, like, maybe you jumped on a desk. I don't remember, but you just did something absolutely bonkers. And I'm like, whoa, this dude's got big energy. He's confident, and he has the ability to captivate the room, build the relationships and the connection. And I'm like, okay, like that's somebody that I can operate with, that I can be around, that I want to learn and grow with.
And we did. We ended up going to the gym together for years and taking some other classes. And you always were telling me to jump on the business you were doing. And
we were, I mean, we still are friends, but I'm like, it was the 30-second introduction on day one that set the trajectory for all of this to unfold now. And we've done, I mean, we did your first podcast years ago.
Yes.
We did a podcast together for my show years ago. We're doing one now. We work together. We refer business to each other, like all because you were willing to jump up on a table. And maybe you didn't see your own worth then, but at that moment I said, that's somebody that I can work with. That's someone I need to
be with.
Yeah. So you might not always see your own worth, but rest assured, other people can see that worth when you are doing things to be seen.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Go team.
Go team.
Go Team USA.
Love it. Okay. If you could tell everyone listening to do one thing other than, of course, calling me and getting an insurance quote, one
and I totally wasn't put up to saying that by Jacob just for being on the show.
This was completely unscripted, all of it. I don't think I even sent you my little, here's what I do on a podcast episode. I just said, hey, let's talk.
Actually, I woke up this morning and I checked my email and I was like, Jacob didn't send me anything. I hope I don't need to prepare
anything.
Yeah. Look, if I could give one piece of advice, this is like my kick for the last couple of years, and I'm struggling to share the message. I'm trying to share the message. But it's that the pattern that I see limiting people the most is fear-based. And so I feel like I have an obligation to, one, share the awareness of this, and two, present the call to action to help people overcome it. Most people don't take the action they need to take to become the person they're intended to become because they are afraid of something. They're afraid of fear. They're afraid of the fear of failure, the fear of how people are going to perceive them if they fail, the fear of how people are going to perceive them when they're starting out and they suck and they're cringy. They're afraid of the fear of rejection. All of those things are a self-imposed limit that prevent you from becoming the person that God intends you to be. If you genuinely care about making the world a better place, about helping other people, you owe it to yourself, your family, your community to overcome those fears, conquer those obstacles, and be a better version of yourself every single day. And if you can conquer those fears, you can take action. And if you take action, you're constantly gaining experience that teaches you how to do it better. And if you're always taking action, you're always doing it better, eventually you will win. The first step is just overcoming your fear.
I love it.
Thanks for letting me share that.
Yeah, absolutely. It just made
that is my noble purpose.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's awesome. Thank you so much, Parker. This has been awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you've liked this, click somewhere over here or up there. If this will be on YouTube, and there'll be another video like it.
Don't forget to get my new book, How the Hell Are You Doing This?
Yes.
By Captain Parker McCumber.
I will put that in the comments or in the notes. The How the Hell Are You Doing This by Parker McCumber.
I share my lessons of life and leadership from the military and business.
It's awesome. I subscribe to it.
Go team.
It's a great book. Thanks.